Okay, is it better? Okay, perfect. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our broadcast today, all subscribers for Moscow Pals Telegram chat. So we're happy to have you here, and we have our guest for today. Her name is Ina. Ina, please introduce yourself. Tell us about your life. Yeah.
Hey, hello guys. My name is Ina and I'm 34 years old. I'm originally Russian and I've pursued a teaching career abroad for the past 8 years, and I've been a teacher in China, Vietnam, and I've liked traveling. I've been to many countries. I used to live in the United States for a while, and now I'm married to a Swedish citizen, and due to the latest things that are happening in the world, like especially in February, we had to leave Vietnam and move to Sweden, and now I'm trying to stay here legally. And we're also considering options going to Russia because we always wanted to go to, and we actually wanted to start up a business in Russia before COVID has launched on us. But of course, we had to delay all of our plans, and now basically we're still considering some options how to both of us to live in Russia.
Yes, indeed, this is life, right? So we should act accordingly. Today's topic is obtaining residence permits. So we're talking about temporary residence permit and a permanent residence permit in Russia. So RVP and VNG. I think that most of the subscribers are familiar with these terms in Russian language as well. And also we'll talk about setting up the business here. So as far as I understand, Ina currently is trying to get her residence permit in Sweden, and yes, of course you want to have some sort of, it's not a backup plan, but still options, right? Maybe you'll move to Russia. So let's talk about this. So Ina, you may ask your questions and I'll try to answer them clearly.
Okay, so my biggest question is actually types of family visas that I can apply for my husband, because I haven't been living in Russia for 8 years. Last time I've been was 2015 for only 1 month. So I don't have property, I don't have a job there, so I can't make any proper long invitation, and also my husband doesn't speak Russian. And the latest news that I checked, he can apply for 3 months visa, and every 3 months he has to reapply, leave the country, come back, and it's not sustainable. I would say it's very financially it's very expensive, and I don't think I would be able to support my husband if he has to go in and out of the country. It's expensive.
Indeed, yes, it is. It's quite expensive. And nowadays, if you just Google tickets from Moscow to Sweden, for example, it's kind of costly. So first of all, you're a citizen of Russia. This is the most important aspect here. Then let's move forward. You don't have to, to be an owner of some sort of premises, apartment, like office, you name it. Also, you don't have to, well, long story short, you just have to be, married to a foreign citizen, right? And you are a Russian citizen. So starting from September, I think the 1st of September 2021, now it became possible to issue the invitation for a private visa for a longer period, because any Russian citizen, for example, me, right? I can invite your husband to Russia, and the term would be 3 months, 90 days. It's always like this, right? So after this term, he must leave the country. Here, you're recognized as a family member. You're a wife, and that means that you can issue the invitation for a longer term, which is 1 year, and you don't have to. And your husband, he just can stay here for the whole period. It's not like the business visa, because with a business visa, yes, it can be issued for 1 year, but still the rule 90 out of 180 days applies. It's not like with a family visa, so he can stay here for a whole year. Again, if you're outside, no problem at all. So you just right now you're in Sweden, right? Both of you. So this is quite simple. You just call Russian embassy consulate service and you make an appointment there. So you will be the applicant. Just bring your passport, please, because you're a Russian citizen. And basically, you will, write some sort of application. It's not the invitation itself, but the application in the name of the consulate, the ambassador of Russian embassy would be your invitation, basically. So no problem. If you don't have property, if you're not in Russia, so yeah, the only thing is that you're a Russian citizen and you can issue this invitation for 1 year.
Okay, and what about like documents that I need to submit? Because it could be, I don't know, I understand like a Russian passport, like my foreign passport, like passport for foreign travels, my internal passport, but do I like marriage certificate?
Sure.
I muted myself. And actually, let's say after we get to Russia, so do we need to go to, I don't know, migration department and obtain some special visa, or it will be done at the embassy? And what to do after the 12 months?
Good question. So first, yes, please bring your marriage certificate. So the embassy would recognize you, both of you, as a married couple. About the migration authorities. No, he will be granted with a 1 year visa. So that's it. Yes, you'll just come here in Russia. And again, please don't forget to register him at the place of stay within 7 days after your arrival. Basically, that's it. It's totally there was the idea just to make a little bit, foreigners' life here a little bit easier because of the COVID times, etc., etc. So that's why now it's possible to get the one year visa. Yeah.
Okay, and later when we, let's say, decide, like if we, actually 1 year, it sounds so great because I didn't know about that. So after the year will be over, does he need to leave the country to reapply, or we can extend it within Russia? And how many times can you extend?
So after this period, yes, he should leave the country, but while we can use this valid period to apply for a temporary residence permit. So this is, now we're talking about our topic, basically, because your husband would have the private visa, and in order to apply for a temporary residence permit, RVP, one of the needed documents is the valid visa, of course. And it's really good that you guys will have plenty of time in order to calmly collect all the needed documents. By the way, one of the necessary documents is the police clearance certificate, which must be obtained in home country, in Sweden. So also this document must be apostilled. So you'll just bring this document here. All documents must be translated and notarized. So it's very simple. Then what else? So your documents would be like valid visa, his passport, your passport, marriage certificate, which is the legal ground, because this is the legal ground for the simplified procedure of getting the temporary residence permit. Then police clearance certificate, apostilled or certified by the embassy, like Swedish embassy here in Moscow. Then what again? Fingerprints, medical documents. You have to do the medical documents within 30 days after your arrival in Russia. Yes, registration and migration card. The migration card, you'll be granted with the migration card when you'll cross the border at the airport here in Moscow, if you're coming to Moscow. Also about the registration, if we use the legal ground, like marriage as the legal ground of getting the temporary residence permit, that means that we have to apply at the same region where you have your registration. And here's the trickiest part. You have to be registered permanently somewhere, like it's a stamp in your passport, in your Russian passport. So this, for example, if you're registered in Moscow, right? We should apply in Moscow. So we should go to the Sakharova Migration Center, which is not in Moscow, right? It's 45 kilometers from Moscow. And also your husband must be registered temporarily, not permanently, anywhere in Moscow, not exactly in your house, in your apartment, but in one region. So our region is Moscow. So this is the case. I think that's it with the list of documents. Yeah.
So what if I'm originally from Krasnodar and I have registration in the south in Krasnodar, but let's say we don't want to live there, and I know that not so many real estate agents and owners, they want to register people, and especially foreigners, they kind of tend to not to register people, and it could be like, could it be a problem? And also you mentioned medical certificate that we need to obtain it 30 days after arrival. I never heard about this.
Oh yeah, we receive so many questions regarding fingerprints and medical documents. But here's the thing, starting from the 1st of January this year, now it's, now if the foreign citizen is going to stay in Russia for more than 90 days, and this is our case actually, then within 30 days after arrival, he or she must undergo the medical examination. Well, basically, it's not that hard to do. If we're talking about Moscow, you just need to go to Sakharova, and we advise to do it there. But if we're talking about other cities, yes, there are medical institutions where you can do it. So yeah, it's not a big deal, but you have to do it. So if not, then they will impose a shtraf, the fine of not doing that. And we don't need to get any sort of strafs, administrative fines, because if you would have more than 2 of them, then you might have problems while submitting your documents for the temporary residence permit. About your registration, right? Because right now we're having the online consultation, which is also a live stream, right? About your Krasnodar's registration. If you've got the stamp in your passport and it states that you're permanently registered in Krasnodar, that means that we should apply first, we should register your husband there in Krasnodar temporary. And secondly, we should apply there. This is the case. This is the law. So, but yeah, it's not a big deal. For example, if you want to register him, you can do so. A foreign citizen can be registered in a hotel or a hostel or at the apartment by the owner. So basically, you can register him at the hotel if it's not possible to register him at your place, for example. And so he will get the registration, valid registration. So that's it. But yes, we need to apply at the Russian citizens' permanent registration place. This is the law.
What about the language proficiency requirement? Because I heard that you can't get even temporary residence permit if you cannot, you have to pass a test. And I don't know, we've been married for such a long time, but we never had time to learn each other languages because we've been living into the third countries like China, Vietnam, completely different.
Yeah. Correct. Well, long story short, yes. Unfortunately, you have to pass this exam. But the thing is that here we're talking about let's first start with the legal ground, right? If the legal ground for getting the residence permit, and that would be Venture permanent residence permit. if your legal ground is, for example, your Russian child, or you've graduated with the red diploma, with diploma with honors, then as a bonus from Russian government, you can skip the stage of temporary residence permit and apply directly for a permanent residence permit, VNG, issued forever, without passing this Russian language, history, and legislation exam. But if your legal ground is marriage, then yes, you have to pass this Russian language, history, and legislation exam. Well, first of all, this is my personal point of view. If you want to live in Russia, well, I think that it's better to know some basic Russian language, because not all Russian citizens, right, can speak English. And yes, here we're talking about the first level, right? This is the RVP level, the temporary residence permit level, because we have VNG level and the citizenship level. So I can only say that, for example, our company provides a service of like preparation for this exam, so we can really I can give lessons in the Russian language course, but also I think that you can also practice with your husband. Why not? And you can Google with the examples of the tasks, of the exercises. I think that it's not that hard, but yes, I know that Russian language is quite I would say difficult to learn and to pass. But I believe in you, and I think that everything would be just fine.
So what if, let's say, a person comes on a family visa for 12 months and still a person hasn't learned the language yet and thinks of enrolling into language courses that may give him an extra year of studies, but extra year of being in the country. But the question is it possible to do without leaving the country? How much time maybe you need for this? And also, do you really have to attend those classes? Because sometimes people just need to win extra time, but they don't want to learn the language, and they just be in the country.
I see. In your case, you're married, so that's why it's better to come here with a family visa for 1 year and use this time in order to apply for RVP, right? But if, let's say, we have a single person, and yes, we have this. We as a law firm, we have a direct contract with one of the top economic universities in Russia. The name is Plekhanova University. And they have Russian language course, right? So this is our offer. We can issue the invitation for a student visa for Russian language course. It's valid for 12 months. That's right. But if we're talking about, well, let's say right now, right? So we want to issue a student visa. Of course, the total period would be less than 12 months, because we need about 6 weeks. Around 6 weeks in order to get the invitation, because the applicant here is the university, and we need we'll be dealing with different state bodies, university, the Ministry of Internal Affairs. This state body will approve our invitation. The term is 21 business days, but again, our practice shows that, let's say, we sign the contract today, and you'll get the ready-made invitation in digital form after 8 weeks, basically. So the total term would be less than 12 months, right? It's going to be 9-10 months, but yes, it's possible. Then it's the Russian language course. So let me just briefly explain it, right? So you have to attend classes once a week, but while we are a law firm, so we have this kind of offer once a week, online only, so you can live in Krasnodar, in St. Petersburg, you name it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Once a week after working hours, and also we have groups with this, it's possible to attend classes during Saturdays as well. So you just log in into Zoom meeting and yes, practice your Russian language. Then having this Russian language course student visa, you can only be hired officially at the university, by the university. This is the trickiest part, right? Because if you're having your student visa for a bachelor's degree or master's, then according to Russian legislation, you can freely work here in Russia without any work permits. You can work part-time. And also you can open your company as well, having your student visa. So it depends on your personal background, right, situation. So I would say, Ina, in your case, I think the best way is to just to come here with a family visa, practice your Russian language, maybe use our services as well to pass this exam, and then yes, so you'll get the whole package of documents, and you can apply for the temporary residence permit. May I tell you about the terms, right? Because terms, well, again, having this 1-year visa is quite good, okay? We need around 2 months. Let's say you need to get the police clearance certificate. Normally it takes around 1 month, but it depends on the state body. It depends on the country itself. Usually it's around 1 month, right? So it's about 2 months to gather and prepare all the documents. Then we need to make an appointment at the migration authority. Again, it depends. In Moscow, you should first apply online, so you'll have your real appointment within like after 3 weeks, something like this. Also, it takes time. But I believe that in Krasnodar, it's a bit easier. And then when we go there, so for your information, their main goal, how the migration authorities work here, their main goal is to refuse while you're trying to submit the documents. So they're just, trying to find some sort of errors, mistakes in like comparing, they compare your passport and the translation. Maybe something is missing, right? And then they can say, sorry, but they refuse basically, and you need to make an appointment once again. But if they, accept your documents, that means that after 4 months, this is the consideration period. After 4 months, you'll be granted with the LLC stamp in the passport, which allows you to live here, work here for 3 years. And by the way, after 1 year of having this LLC, actually, we can start the procedure after 8 months of having this LLC. You can apply for the venture, for the permanent residence permit. And here, the legal ground would be not your marriage, but the legal ground would be that you are a holder of temporary residence permit for more than 1 year. So, yeah.
Okay, I see. And buying any kind of property, would it make the process faster? Like if you buy a dacha or a detached house or an apartment, I don't know. There's financial limits for that.
Yeah, that just sounds good. But the thing is that right now, actually, there is no such legal ground. Like it's in the Schengen countries, right? If you would buy a property here in Russia, it's not linked for getting some sort of residency here. But we're expecting a new law to become enforced. Like we have a draft law of some sort of golden visa, golden passport compared to Spain, Spain and Portuguese options. So there is a draft law. We don't know when they will adopt it, but still, right now the idea is that our government is willing to keep all the foreign citizens here and attract more. So that's why we're having these new laws. Again, we're waiting for the adoption, the draft laws for highly qualified specialists, for students, because after the 1st January of next year, any student can apply for a temporary residence permit. This is also something new, right? So we're waiting for the adoption, and we'll see how it works in practice. And then also you can, we should also say that you can come here having your business, right? So it's not directly linked. It's not like you're registering a company and then you have the legal ground for the VNG or RVP. But we have this kind of offer. So, for example, we can register a company, so you can be like both of you or only your husband can be a founder of this company. Then we need a general director, a Russian citizen. Perfect. We've got the Russian citizen. That's you, you know. So we will register. Also, the company needs the legal address. With these three items, we can register a company, LLC. Then that means that if you've got the company can obtain a special permission to attract a highly qualified specialist. A highly qualified specialist is the visa for 3 years. It's issued for 3 years. There are, of course, advantages and disadvantages. We can talk about this particular option maybe during our next broadcast. But yeah, this is how it goes. We register a company within 7 days. You'll be a general director within about 3 weeks to get this permission. Because you, as a general director, will go to the migration authorities, have there an interview. There, you must, tell them, okay, I need this person to, I need to hire this person to attract him as a highly qualified specialist. You'll have the labor contract, right? And so they will just stamp, okay, approved. Then we can issue the invitation for 3 years, and he will get his 3-year visa in Sweden. And then, yes, it's also possible to get the residency. The procedure is not that easy if we compare it to a marriage legal ground, but still it's possible. And again, we're waiting for the adoption of the new law about the highly qualified specialists, because they also want to, make life easier. So fingers crossed, basically. Yeah.
I kind of missed a little point. For how long is validity of temporary residence permit, like VNG, and how many times can you extend it?
Temporary residence permit is issued for 3 years and only once in your life. And then after having this temporary residence permit, RVP, for 1 year, actually for 8 months, you can apply for the permanent residence permit, which is VNG, which is issued forever. So this is the whole idea. First, get the TRP, RVP, and then after 1 year, get the VNG. That's it. So you'll be granted with the VNG. It looks like a passport. It's a blue document with your photo. It's the internal document. So you'll become your husband would become also almost a Russian citizen, except he cannot vote. But yeah, this is the thing.
I had a question and I instantly forgot it. So something about RVP. You said it gives. You can get it only once in your whole life. But what if you got your RVP and you did not learn the language to the sufficient level to get a permanent residence? What to do in that situation?
Again, I can. I would say that I'm confident that your husband will pass this exam. Because we have a really good practice in some sort of preparing our clients for this exam. Yes, I can totally imagine that it looks like it's kind of complicated procedure, but you'll have plenty of time to be prepared, right? To study a little bit, to practice it, and you will pass this exam, no worries. So yeah, because we used to have different clients and everything went smooth. Also, the certificate for RVP level is valid for 5 years, the language one, and this certificate for VNG level and the citizenship is valid forever. So yeah, basically it's not that hard.
I actually remembered the question that I just
okay got. Yeah.
So after a person gets his temporary residence RVP, right? Am I correct? So is there any requirement how many days you must stay in the country?
Yes, it's basically it's the universal rule. So you should live here for not less than half a year. Basically, this is the case, and this is the case regarding the VNG as well. So yeah, just be here for at least how many 180 something days, and also you've got this thing is called annual notification. So after 1 year, let's say you've got your RVP, right? After 1 year and 2 months, within 2 months after 1 year expiration period, you have to notify immigration authorities that, hey guys, I'm here, everything's okay. Yeah, that's it. Keep on living. This thing is also applies for VNG. So annually, you just notify the immigration authority. There is a special form. It's quite easy. Just notify them that you're still here, you're alive, everything's okay. Because if you will be absent for more than half a year, that would be a legal ground to refuse you while you're trying to apply for VNG, or they can cancel even your current resident status. So yeah, this is the law.
And also, maybe it's not completely like related to our topic. We know that all foreigners, after arriving to Russia, they must be registered within 7 days. But let's say we did all of that, but we want to go to friend's dacha, or want to go to another city or not city, to the mountains for like 5 days. So how should we register like a foreigner in that situation? I think accidentally I stayed here by myself.
Now, can you hear me? Okay.
But cannot see you.
Okay, just a sec.
And now the mic is off.
Mic is on, right? Is it? Okay, perfect. So about traveling within Russia, dacha, etc. Yes. So according to the law, okay, you have to be registered within 7 days. But if you, for example, if you go to somewhere else, so you're making a trip to St. Petersburg, right? When you check in into the hotel, they're obliged to register you because you're a foreign citizen. So don't worry, everything would be automatically. You may ask them, like, can I have my registration sheet of paper, basically, because this is how it's done here. But according to the law, you have to be registered if you change your place of stay. This is the case. That's right.
But my main question is actually not about hotels, because actually I used to work in a hotel for a while. I know that. But
yeah,
we go camping, we go to the forest, so hiking. There is no way for registration, and if police stops you, what to do in that situation?
Well, it's a very nice question, but I can only tell you the same thing about the law, right? That you have to be registered within 7 days. But again, if you go hiking, well, there is no place to be registered, right? You cannot register using the squirrels services or something like this. So this is the case. I mean, it's totally fine if you're, let's say, registered temporary, but still at your, let's say, own place, right? But of course, you may go hiking or somewhere else. It's totally okay. The thing is that you have to have with you always. It's very Russian thing. Your passport, your migration card, and your registration. If you have everything with you, so don't worry, everything will be okay with you. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I actually also remembered some of the requirements for getting residence permits in other countries is that you don't have HIV, you don't have diseases like syphilis, and you didn't have any criminal record. So in Russia, except like criminal record, what else could stop people of getting residence permit?
Wow, it's a very wide question. I mean, there are a lot. So again, let's say if we would give them some sort of fake document or false information, of course, while they consider your documents, they would deny, they would refuse, of course. But yes, medical examinations, you have to do it here in Russia while you're here, and fingerprints as well. But I think everything would be okay. Just, yeah, again, please don't give them false documents, fake documents. They will find out. So the idea is that when they accept the documents, that means that you will be granted with the residency. But if you would give them some sort of false information, or you have more than 2 administrative fines, they have legal ground to refuse you. So this is my advice. Please don't break the law. Yeah, and everything will be okay. Simply.
Okay, I see. Actually, I had a list of questions here, and I think we've answered all of them, and
cool.
It became so much clearer in my head now, because I was always nervous and worried what to do. And even for an educated native speaker, like, it is so difficult to find the laws. And even when you find them, when you read them, you're like, why do you always refer me to different laws, and how should I understand, and where should I find it? So I'm so grateful for your channel.
Thank you so much, Ina, for your kind words. Yeah, indeed. Actually, it's quite hard to get the clear picture regarding migration legislation here in Russia. For example, when I've been to the Netherlands, I obtained my master's degree there. So simple. Just go to the IND website. This is the Migration Authorities of the Netherlands, and there you can get all the information, clear picture about the migration legislation, what to do, where to go, list of documents, you name it. Here, one of our goals is to give our clients, our subscribers, foreign citizens, the clear picture, how to proceed, what to do, where to go, the medical stuff. So yeah, and we're really happy to share with this information with the subscribers of Moscow Pals channel, with our clients, and we'll be happy to help you, to assist you here in Russia. All right, Ina, I think we've discussed the main things here about the temporary residence permit. I hope to first of all meet you here in Russia, and maybe we would do another live streams and broadcasts as well as here and Moscow Pals chat. So thank you so much for being here with me. I hope that right now you've got the clear information, and say hi to your husband and to your cat, because I've seen the tail, right?
Yeah, I have 2 cats. One we brought from China, and one is from Vietnam. And I would be really interested having maybe next interview with maybe some other guests about opening up a company as a foreigner in Russia, and especially all of the details. Can you hire other foreigners? What kind of documents you need? Because when I started, it was even worse than for residence permit, and I actually got scammed by one of the lawyers on one of the online services. Like, I paid for the person to research information for me, and basically I never got what I wanted.
Okay, yeah, sounds like a real hardcore scam. So yeah, let's do it this way. If you're interested, and if you really need to get this kind of information, but again, the marriage one would be more beneficial in your case. Let's have our next broadcast about work visas related to residence permits, HQS option, etc., etc. So this is a huge topic, and I believe that we, of course, can discuss it next time.
Okay, thank you, Michael, so much. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Thank you so much. See ya.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.